Coach, I know that you're not in the moral victory business, but you brought 59 guys to Athens to play a top 15 team tonight, and I'm just curious, what do you think about the effort that your guys played with?
I thought really good effort, and I think that this is the best game we've played this year. I was very proud of the way our guys played. Wish we hadn't come up short, but I was really proud of them. This is by a significant margin the best game we've played this year.
I know that your offensive line was able to keep Will upright most of the night, and when they did, he was able to move the ball. But Georgia's defense started to grab hold, especially in that fourth quarter. Was it just an issue where depth became a factor? They had more of it than your guys did. What allowed them to start making plays defensively late in the game?
I think it was depth. I think you hit it right on the head.
Thank you.
All right, guys, if you have any questions, put your name in the chat. Up first, we'll go to Tyler Horca.
Mike, Neal mentioned the, you guys lacking players, and obviously a lot has been made of that number 53. I'm just curious what went into the decision to come into Athens and playing shorthanded like you did.
Oh, well, we're just excited to have a game.
Up next, we'll go to Ben Portnoy.
Mike, you've talked a lot about Will's progress, at least the last few weeks. What did you think
about Will a lot? What?
Will's progress the last few
Yeah.
weeks. What did you see from him, and do you feel like tonight was that next step that he took?
I think he's gotten better. I think our O-line took a step this week, which I think was important. I think Will did too. I think as a team, we did. I think we played improved, and I think we played together better tonight than we have some. I mean, what sucks is we fell short, but it's hard for teams to generally speaking stay on the field with Georgia, and then of course we were shorthanded besides, and so I think we're got a bunch of young guys who are getting better, and they're going to continue to get better. And anyway, we played extremely hard, and I think for the most part.
Up next, let's go to Steve Robertson.
Coach, with all the adversity you had to face this week as a team, what do you feel like you learned about your team this week? Not just tonight, but maybe the entire week.
Well, I think there's a determination on our team's part to improve and to get better. And then I think that we're kind of, a lot of those guys on the team are, first of all, have adjusted kind of the first thing to adjust to was playing college football, because we're predominantly freshmen and sophomores. And I mean predominantly, it's crazy. And then somebody had an article, and I didn't realize it was quite this low, but that we have the least amount of returning starters or upperclassmen or something like that in the BCS. But whether that's true or not, they're still really young guys. And I think they've steadily improved. I think they've been pretty committed to improve. I think, the guys that's whittled down to now are pretty nitty-gritty guys that make you excited and proud to work with every day.
We'll go back to Tyler.
Mike, when you're preparing for a game like this and you're talking to the guys in the locker room and you know that you're shorthanded, how do you kind of balance that and not making too much of a deal of that and still trying to prepare as you normally do? Or was it harping on that, saying, look, we're shorthanded, but we've got what we got, and we're going to go out there and try to compete?
Next man up, compete with yourself, be the best player you can be, and play together.
Up next, we'll go to Joel Coleman.
I know you've probably hit on this just a little bit, Mike, but when you have a game like this, and obviously we don't know how close this game came to not happening, but now that it has happened and you have this film to point at, and you had 49 scholarship guys that I guess are bought in and all in. How big is this for the future? Just to have this film to point at it and say, this is what happens when you buy in, kind of thing.
I feel like it's pretty big, and I think that because now you don't just illustrate it; they can actually feel it as they were involved in it. If you come away with a win, it's even bigger. But The biggest key is to play well. And we did play well today. I mean, the most important thing to do is play well. And I would say this team tonight played as hard and as well, really, with what your best is any team I've ever had. So I've had a lot of great teams. And, yeah, we've beaten some teams. And we've beaten some teams that probably we weren't supposed to beat. But with regard to matching the best of your ability up to whatever the adversity may be, this team may have performed to that level higher than any other team I've coached. So from that standpoint, I'm very proud of them.
Still have time for a few more questions, so if you'll put your name in the chat, we'll get to you. Up next, we'll go back to Ben Portnoy.
Mike, I think tonight you guys averaged a little over 5 yards per first down play. I mean, staying on schedule, it seemed like you guys were able to string together a few more first downs and getting a few more yards on the first and second down. How much, if at all, was that something that's been stressed the last few weeks and just putting yourselves in better positions on third down and maybe picking up first downs earlier in drives?
I think they're byproducts of protecting better, Will reacting to what he sees better, and receivers running more precise routes. And I know that's not a particularly fun answer for your article or whatever. But I think that, over time, it's getting more and more synchronized. And then coupled with that, we were very poised in this game, I thought. People held their head up. People were excited to be out there and compete. And I think there's a lot to draw from this game, and we need to use it to push us forward.
All right, guys, we're going to close with Steve Robertson.
Coach, it seems like in every post-game press conference you've made a comment about your coaches need to coach better. And tonight you haven't made any mention of that. So how do you feel like your coaches kind of handled the week in the ballgame tonight?
Well, starting with myself and my assistant coaches, because usually the guy that coaches the worst in these situations is me. I think our players in particular, they deserve the biggest pat on the back, but we're proud to be on a team with them and proud to be a part of this one. So,
Thanks, Coach.
all right, thank you.
All right, guys, we'll have players up shortly. All right, guys, we are joined by Mississippi State wide receiver Jaden Walley. Up first, we will go to Ben Portnoy.
Jaden, tonight, obviously y'all were shorthanded, but played a really tight game. What did you guys feel like the mood was, at least coming into this game, and how did you guys feel like walking into it?
We knew we belonged here. We just thought that, they was the same as us. We could compete with them a little bit. So we just hard on playing the next play and keeping the energy up on the sideline.
And for you personally, obviously your biggest game of your college career so far, I guess, what were you seeing? What was working for you, at least tonight?
Just being that I felt like I could run better with the energy that we had as a team. Just made me feel better about myself, gave me a little confidence.
Up next, we'll go to Steve Robertson.
Jaden, I remember at Mississippi-Alabama All-Star practices, you and Will Rogers kind of became a thing then, and it's kind of carried over. Why have you guys been able to connect so quickly and kind of you look to be a guy he looks for? So how have you guys built this relationship?
It started outside of football, actually, just going to get lunch, hanging out a little bit, just trying to create a bond outside of football. I guess he gained a little trust in me then, and it's just working out for us right now.
Up next, we'll go to Robbie Falk.
Jaden, I think the true freshman had 217 yards of offense between the skill guys. You had 3 touchdowns, and then Will had 336 through the air and a touchdown. You guys have been such a huge part of this offense in year one. What's been the mindset of that group between you and Dylan and Marks and some of those guys getting in there and making big plays early this year?
Just come in and work every day. Do what it takes to be able to win. Do whatever it takes to be a winner as a person and for the team. I think that's really what helping us out a lot right now.
Up next, let's go to Tyler Horca.
Jaden, obviously a lot of people made a lot of y'all's numbers coming in this game and that you guys were pretty shorthanded. How much did you guys talk about that amongst the team, and what were those conversations like when you guys were talking about, how few people you brought here?
We just go out and play. We had all we needed, I guess, and just go out and play every day, practice hard every day. Don't worry about who missing. Just if you up next, just go ahead and do what you got to do to help out the team.
And just a quick follow-up to that. Obviously, it's only 11 on 11 when it's between the white lines, but on the sidelines and throughout the game, could you tell that a lot of people were missing, or just kind of describe what it was like during the game?
I mean, today it felt like it was more people. I feel like since we were shorthanded, a lot of people on the sideline thought they needed to have a lot more energy to make it seem like we had more people. And that really helped us out a lot. So it wasn't anything different.
Let's go back to Steve.
Jaden, if you will take us through the touchdown, maybe the concept on that play, and then kind of what you saw and what it was like to get in the end zone.
Well, at first I recognized man coverage, and I waited on Austin, and I cut off him, and the ball was there. So I just caught it and used what God gave me to get it in the end zone.
Up next, let's go to Ben Portnoy.
Jaden, obviously between being shorthanded and Georgia being what they've been the last few years, I think you guys were picked to lose this game by like 3 or 4 touchdowns. I mean, for you guys as a team, I know you want to win the game, but what does a game like this do for you guys confidence-wise and walking into the last 3 weeks of the season and against teams that y'all probably match up pretty well against?
Well, as far as offense, I know it helped our confidence a lot on offense. I feel like we play together, play as a team, and if something bad happened, we always just forgot about it and went to the next play. Played hard as we could and fought as much as we could. I think that's the best fight we've had all year.
I mean, does it feel like the kind of game that you guys could, played up to the competition or that kind of thing?
I mean, last week at practice, I feel like it was a different vibe at practice, most definitely. And everybody was locked in most of the time, and the whole trip we've been locked in. And I feel like that's what helped us out. And I feel like this is our team. This is the team we were supposed to be in all year, and it's just not popping out. We see it now.
All right, that's all we'll do for you, Jaden. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
Up next, we'll have Errol. All right, guys, we are joined by Mississippi State linebacker Errol Thompson. Up first, we'll go to Steve Robertson.
Errol, Georgia came into the ballgame as one of the league's best rushing offenses, and you guys shut them down. What did you guys see on film that made you feel like you could do it? And then when you got out here, what made it so easy to execute?
Well, I feel like Coach Arnett, he did a heck of a job just game planning, knowing that, we got a lot of boundary run from everybody. So, that's kind of something that everybody's been hitting us with. So kind of just overemphasizing stopping the boundary run. So just feel like Coach Arnett did a great job with just installing packages, to kind of slow that up.
Up next, we'll go to Ben Portnoy.
Errol, obviously you guys want to win a game like this, but walking off the field and playing the game you guys did with being shorthanded and what Georgia's been at least the last few years, what does that do for you guys as a team, and what do you guys feel like walking off a game like that?
Well, of course, it's never any more victories, but I feel like everybody, can hang their head and knowing that we, fought to the end and knowing that we, progressed, from last week or the weeks before on both sides of the ball, but it's still a lot of work to do, and it's no more victories, like I said.
All right, we'll go back to Steve.
Errol, your D tackles seem to do a good job tonight, kind of occupying blockers. What was it like out there for you to see, Jaden and Cam and those guys play as well as they did?
Oh, it was great. Always seeing those guys, they do a lot of dirty work for me and Brule and all the other linebackers, but it's always great, seeing those guys, take up double teams or whatever it is. But, it was a good feeling seeing those guys tonight.
Quick follow-up on that. Nathaniel Watson gets his first start tonight, without Jordan and Ty. So how do you feel like he performed tonight? What was it like communication-wise having a new guy?
I feel like he did pretty solid. Of course, I got to go back and look at it. But I feel like he did pretty solid. It's nothing I can remember on the field that, wasn't, as crisp as, as the guys before. And the communication was solid as well. He plays linebacker, so, he has to know pretty much the same anyway. So he already knew it anyway.
Up next, we'll go to Jeff Sentinel.
Hey, Errol, thanks, man, for doing this. A lot of run-heavy boxes. It seems like you guys wanted to stop Georgia's run game. You held them to 8 yards. That's kind of astounding. But then Georgia's passing game had to respond. What was your view of what you thought maybe Georgia and JT Daniels could do coming in, and then how they reacted in the game situation?
Well, I mean, coming in, you knew that Georgia, they're a physical team. We want to establish the run game. So I feel like we knew that we had to kind of slow that up or kind of stop that to, have a chance in this ball game. But, also I feel like coming in tonight, they, might have took a step back, maybe running the ball or whatever. So they got their pass game going. So going forward, that's something we have to limit, big plays and things like that in the pass game.
Quick follow-up. JT Daniels' first start, I think he threw for over 400. What was your view about trying to defend that guy and how he was kind of slinging it around out there?
I thought he was pretty solid. I thought he was solid before he got to start against us tonight. And I still feel the same way. I mean, he throws a pretty ball, and it's a guy who's, a very talented guy. And I thought he did good tonight. So.
Thank you.
Up next, we'll go to Tyler.
Errol, obviously a lot was made of, how few guys you brought here and that you guys were shorthanded. But, I mean, it's only 11 on 11 while you're between the white lines. What did the game feel like to you? Jaden just said that he felt like you guys had the best fight you've had all year, and Coach Leach said this is the best game that you guys have played. So, given everything I just said about the numbers, how did you guys, manage to put your best foot forward on a night like tonight?
Really just realizing that, we can only control the things that we can control, not really worrying about who's here or, who should be here or anything like that. But, adversity, you find a lot about yourself when adversity strikes. So I feel like tonight we, took a step together, and I feel like we did, we probably fought the best that we have, the whole year. So.
Up next, we'll go back to Ben Portnoy.
Errol, it seems like at least tonight and really most of the year, you and Brule have complemented each other really nicely in the middle. I guess, what do you feel like you guys are able to do at least to bring pressure? And it seemed like you guys sent him on the pass rush a lot tonight. I guess, what do you feel like he does well that sort of works alongside you, and how do you feel like you guys kind of complement each other?
Like you said, he's a speedy guy, kind of like a, speed like Willie Gay, a kind of athletic guy, get out on the edges and pass rush a little bit. So I feel like, I'm more the thumper, old school type of guy. He's more the new school type of guy. So, I feel like we complement each other in that way. He's kind of the new guy. I'm kind of the old school guy. So that's what it is.
Up next, we'll go back to Steve.
Errol, not a lot of people gave you guys a chance to compete, much less win this ball game. And, on social media, it's like you guys started earning some respect even from your own fans. So what message does this send to your fan base about what they should expect the rest of the season?
Just really a gritty team that's always going to fight, to the end. I mean, 49 guys, 22 guys, it don't matter. I mean, we're going to scrap to the end. And, I feel like, for the rest of the year, I mean, we got nothing to lose. We got to come in each week and, prepare. But it's going to be a scrappy team from here on out. I can promise you that.
We'll end things with Joel Coleman.
Errol, it's kind of along the same lines, but as you guys get back on that plane to get back to Starkville, does it feel like anything has changed amongst you guys? I mean, is there no secret the last few weeks kind of been a grind, and to have the kind of showing you guys did tonight, does it feel like anything's different, a little bit of the maybe pressure off a little bit?
No, I don't really feel like nothing's changed. I mean, it's the same week to week, prepare and go out to battle with your brothers and do the best you can to, put yourself in a position to win. So I don't feel like nothing's changed. I mean, we got a big one coming up next week. Y'all know how big that one is. So, I mean, I guess if anything changes, a little more emphasis on the preparation. So.